I'm Dr. Jordin Wiggins, and this is the Pleasure Principles podcast. Join me on this journey where sex, science, and sensuality meet. Let's change the conversation around sex and pleasure together. Hello, superwomen, and I'm going to say supermen because my male audience is growing. So many of you have reached out to me, and I love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you listen to this podcast, please leave a review. It helps other people like us find this information and content that they so desperately need. And considering that my Instagram account gets banned frequently, the more people that can hear about us and the work that we do here join the conversation, the better. So I would really appreciate you taking the time to leave me a review. Do you want to learn how to be a better lover? To have the kind of intimacy that you talk about for days, that you sneak glances at each other and you both know what you're thinking, even in long-term relationship, even after the new relationship energy fades. And the solution is not what you might think. We're going to talk about that today. Many of you are like me, the high achievers, the trauma or sexual abuse survivors. Maybe we've got the attachment issues, parents that were not emotionally present for one reason or another. Maybe they had a personality disorder, can handle a lot. You are cool as a cucumber when it comes to stress. And we know that stress and sex, stress and intimacy do not mix because they turn off the pleasure centers in your brain. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, take a look back at all of the podcasts. And it is a chapter in my book, The Pink Canary. So as recovering superwomen, maybe I should start saying super people, thanks to all of the dudes that listen now. We are people pleasing. We are overfunctioning. We are great at sacrificing our own needs for others, but we struggle to connect, be present, relax, receive, especially when your nervous system and stress response is dysregulated. And then we do this funny thing. We blame and shame ourselves. What's wrong with me? I have so much to be grateful for. Why am I not happy? Why am I not as happy as I used to be? When we start to do this in the bedroom and intimate relationship, a few things will happen. When we are people pleasers, overfunctioners, when we are denying our own intimate experience or we've never explored it, some things are going to inevitably happen in relationship. Resentment will build and connection will be lost. So the sex is going to go to shit eventually. And oftentimes, if we're a people pleaser, we think that it makes us a good lover to focus on our partner's pleasure. You might not even be aware you're doing this. For me, from the Cosmo articles that I was reading as a teen, it was about how to please a man, tips to do the best this, or tips for the best positions. But it was never the messaging of what's in my pleasure, what feels good, what am I down for today. Another reason why we are not the best lovers is because sex education was reproductive health education. We were taught about how not to get pregnant and how penetrative sex was sort of taught as the only way to have sex. Research shows in all sexual contexts that women have more orgasms when clitoral stimulation is involved and prioritized. And sex is not a performance. It can make you good at sex, but not great. And this is definitely not great in long-term relationship. A woman who knows how to receive, who knows what she wants, knows how to ask for what she wants, and knows how to fully enjoy and be open in that experience, now that is something that makes you a memorable lover and partner. So let's get into it. The tips for being a better lover. First and foremost, we need to know ourselves, know our pleasure before we bring it into relationship. One of the foundations of my signature program, The Pleasure Principles, is about discovering your pleasure in and out of the bedroom. We need something called self-intimacy. This is my work. This is what I teach people to do. If you don't know what you like, putting it on your partner is a cause for resentment. If you do not know what you like intimately, what turns you on, how you like to be touched, know how to explore new things as you age, as situations change, as your body changes. If you put your pleasure, if you make your pleasure your partner's responsibility, it is inevitably going to cause resentment and disconnection in your intimate relationship. I hear this a lot. Is my libido low? Is this relationship just not working anymore? Or how can I get my male partner to want to have more sex? And here's a secret, ladies. Men want a lot of the same things that we do. They want us to initiate from time to time. They want you to know what you like, how to ask for it, take control, to be a participant in sex and intimacy. Putting this all on their shoulders or doing what they want is not a strategy for great sex and intimacy. Making sex, pleasure, your partner's responsibility is not sexy, and it is bound to cause long-term resentment. Tip number 2, learning how to give and receive. Intimacy is about giving and receiving, the balance. If you are overwhelmed, if you feel like you're going to snap if one more thing gets added to your to-do list, if you are shut down, avoiding intimacy, or on the other hand, like demanding it of your partner and hurt when they say no, these are all signs that we have the pleasure centers turned off in our brain and we have a receiving problem. We need to be able to receive pleasure, help, rest, celebration without feeling guilty, without being in our heads. And there's something special about a woman who receives with gratitude, with grace, with openness, with joy. And it is rare because we are taught to carry it all, to do it all, to keep our superwoman capes on. It's rigid, it's isolating, it's lonely. Keeping those walls up, especially with our intimate partners, is not great for truly connecting and receiving. And superwoman relationships will suffer for it. Some things that you can start doing is practice touching your partner for your pleasure. Can you touch yourself for your pleasure? These are great places to start with receiving practices, because superwomen generally do not have trouble with giving. And the third is presence. You need to be in the moment to have great sex and connection. If you are distracted, if you are worried about the emails that you have to send, your deadlines, the pleasure centers in your brain are not turned all the way on. Touch is not as pleasurable. Orgasms are not as intense or as long. And your partner can feel, even if they can't voice it, but they can energetically feel that you're not in the moment, and they probably crave more. A lot of times, like, male partners are asking for more sex, but it's not more sex that they're craving, it's more presence. And sometimes we have trauma and we try and escape during sex. We start to feel good and it is not okay with our nervous systems, so we are escaping. And this is the work, being present with more pleasure, being present with higher sensation. Your turn on is not your partner's responsibility. And a big part of this is that we have been educated about our sexuality in relation to a man's. If we don't please him, he will leave. Even calling women's anatomy like a vulva, even calling it the incorrect term of vagina, which is the part that is penetrated the term that means sheath, or like what goes around the penis. From its advent, we have been taught about our sexuality, our virginity is being taken from us. And that sets us up to have really shitty sex and intimacy, especially in long-term relationships. You couple that with women taught that they can do it all and they should be it all at work, as a mother, as a partner, and our pleasure centers are turned off. It is no wonder why 1 in 2 women suffers from sexual dysfunction. It is no wonder why the divorce rate is as high as it is. It is no wonder why those that are still married or in relationship, so many people are unfulfilled. So what makes you the best lover is knowing that your pleasure starts with you. Your pleasure is your responsibility, something that you cultivate first and then share with another. This keeps it exciting. This keeps things in proper energetic balance. And this is what so many couples are missing. When you know your pleasure and you're able to receive and connect intimately with one another, this is what we desire and what most relationships are missing. And in fact, this is costing you. Not prioritizing your pleasure is costing you your health. Pain is less. Moods are better. Self-esteem is better. Hormones are more balanced when we are in our pleasure, when we are orgasming. We are more productive. We are more creative. We have more energy. It's costing you your relationships. As I said, it's why so many relationships end in divorce, in my opinion. And it's why so many relationships suffer. So not just romantic relationships, but relationships with friends, our children, our family. And this is why I created Pleasure Principles, for those ready to create deep connection with your partner and your pleasure, to explore your desires on a deeper level, to communicate your desires in a way that you will be heard and understood. It's a unique approach to sex and sexiness that does not feel fake or like you are stepping out of your power. You don't even need your partner's involvement. We focus on you. If that sounds good to you, I have an invitation for you. Pleasure Principles, my foundational program for intimacy and vitality, is the reclamation of your pleasure. It is a program like no other. You have probably purchased a few of things, done the counseling, which has not worked, because this is designed for your pleasure and it is designed for Superwoman. If my work resonates with you, then this is the program for you. It is the next right step. You can visit thepleasurecollective.com/pleasure principles and sign up to have immediate access to the program. There is an online portal with hours of educational video, handouts, worksheets, things that you can workshop and share with your partner to deepen intimacy. There's communication scripts. There is access to 6 months of live group coaching calls, which are led by me and a community of amazing women who get it. This should be a no-brainer. When you are burnt out, lacking the pleasure, connection, intimacy that you desire, if you are pleasure starved, it is easy to convince yourself to put this work off because the pleasure centers in your brain are turned off. It's going to seem like you can put this off. Not necessary. Do it next quarter. And the feedback that I get time and time again is, why didn't I do this sooner? Years of counseling, feeling crusty, unfulfilled. I wish I did this sooner. And the other thing that I hear the second most often is, we are having better sex than when we first met. So I will take both of those. Today is the last day to use the code, The Pleasure Cure, for an extra $250 off the program. Cannot wait to see you there. Have a great week, everybody. If you like what you heard in this episode, leave me a rating. Your support helps me get discovered by more women like you. Together, we can change the conversation around women's sexual health and pleasure for you, your partners, and generations to come.